Now friends, let's move to the next section in IND AS 1, that is financial statements. Okay, financial statements. And in financial statements, they first talk about the purpose of financial statements. Purpose of എന്തിനാണ് financial statements prepare ചെയ്യുന്നത്? What is its purpose? Financial statements are nothing but it is a structured representation. Okay, it is nothing but the structured representation of what? Of the financial position. Of financial position, okay, and the financial performance of an entity. So financial position plus financial performance. Financial performance. So what do you mean by financial position? Financial position is the position of assets, okay, then liabilities and equities. This is what is given in where? Balance sheet. Similarly, when you talk about financial performance is income, then expenses, then if you reduce these two, we get what? Profit or loss. And this is depicted where? In the statement of profit and loss. That's financial performance in the okay, so the purpose of financial statements is to give a structured representation of the financial position and financial performance of an entity. Okay, and to whom this this information is useful? This information is useful to a wide range of users of financial statements. Financial statements and users no wide range. It could include what? The government, then shareholders, investors, management, then creditors, suppliers, employees, even banks. അങ്ങനെ ആരൊക്കെയാണോ ആ കമ്പനിയുമായിട്ട് ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണെങ്കിലും ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണെങ്കിലും, ഒരു എംപ്ലോയിക്ക് ഒരു കമ്പനിയിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണോ വേണ്ടയോ എന്ന് അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ they can look into the financial statements to know how credible, what is the credibility of the financial statement, how strong the financial statements are. Okay, so prospective employees, they can look at it. So whoever uses that financial statements for the purpose of making economic decisions, okay, for taking economic decisions. Okay, so that is the objective of financial statements. And to meet this objective, the financial statement should explain about assets, liabilities, then equity, then income and expenses, then also the contributions by owners plus distributions to owners. Contributions by owners, that means share capital brought in, then distributions to owners, that may be dividend or buyback, etc. And it should also talk about what? Cash flows, about the cash flows. So these are the information that needs to be presented. If you see assets, liabilities, equity, this is given in balance sheet. Income and expenditure, this is given where? This is given in statement of profit or loss. And contribution, this is now SOCI, statement of changes in equity. And cash flow, statement of cash flows. And if you take all these things plus notes, which gives you explanation on all these items, it forms nothing but the financial statements. I hope, friends, that is clear to you. Okay, now next they also talk about what do you mean by a complete set of financial statements. എന്താണ് ഈ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് സെറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സിന്റെ പർപ്പസ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടു. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്തൊക്കെ അതിലുണ്ടാവണം? It has to have 6 components in a complete set of financial statements. Okay, 6 components. What is the first component? The first component is nothing but balance sheet at the end of the period. Balance sheet as at the end of the period. Okay, and this balance sheet should also include what? SOCI. I will come to that. Statement of changes in equity. Now, next one. Okay, it should also contain the statement of profit or loss. The third one, I can call it a statement of changes in equity. Okay, then next, fourth one, we know what is the fourth component? Statement of cash flows. Statement of cash flows. And the fifth one, that is nothing but notes. Okay, and what all things these notes have to include? The notes have to include, okay, summary of significant accounting policies. Summary of significant accounting policies, or now it is also known as material accounting policies. Significant accounting policies or material accounting policies, plus other significant explanatory information. Explanatory information. Okay, whatever is required by the disclosures required by AS or sorry IND AS, aduvade undavanam adupolealla. Okay, so these are the main 5 components, and in some special cases you will have a third balance sheet. Third balance sheet. Okay, so this balance sheet will have for the current year as well as previous year. If you are preparing the financial statements for 31/3/2025, current year means figures at 31/3/2025. Previous year means it will be 31/3/2024. Now, in addition to that, in special cases, it will have what? Or a third balance sheet undown. So I will say beginning of previous year. What is beginning of previous year? ഇവിടെ previous year എന്താ? 23-24 അല്ലേ? Financial year 23-24. ഇതിന്റെ beginning എന്താ? 1/4/2023. So in some special cases, you have to prepare a third balance sheet at the beginning of the previous period. Okay, that is in this example it is 1st April 2023. Now, when do you have to prepare that financial third balance sheet? I mean, standards specify about the areas where it has to be prepared. The third balance sheet has to be prepared. But IND AS 1 talks about few scenarios. One is, okay, when an entity make application of applies or application of accounting policy retrospectively. Application of accounting policies retrospectively. And next scenario, okay, it is retrospective restatement of items in financial statements. Retrospective restatement of items. And the third scenario, it is reclassification of the items in financial statements. Reclassification of items in financial statements. So, these 3 cases, that is application of accounting policies retrospectively, then retrospective restatement of items in the financial statements, or retrospective reclassification of items in the financial statements. These 3 cases, we have third balance sheet. This is there is one special requirement, first time adoption of financial IND AS. First time adoption of IND AS. IND AS ആദ്യമായിട്ട് അഡോപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വർഷവും we need to have what? The third balance sheet. എന്നിട്ട് എന്താണ് ഈ third balance sheet എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? Third balance sheet date is the balance sheet as at the beginning date of the previous year. Okay, I hope that is clear to you. So this is complete set of financial statements, and the entity should present with equal prominence all the financial statements in the complete set of financial statements. Okay, so you can't say that balance sheet is very important over notes. No, all these components have to be presented with equal prominence. ഒരേ പ്രൊമിനൻസോട് കൂടിയിട്ട് വേണം നമ്മൾ ഈ ഓരോ കമ്പോണൻസും ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്സിൽ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. Okay, so this is what do you mean by the complete set of financial statements. Now when it comes to the general features of presenting the financial statements, okay, നമുക്ക് generally അറിയാവുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് general features of presentation of financial statements. General features പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ +2 പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. The first one is general feature number 1, true and fair presentation and compliance with IND AS. Any financial statements prepared should be having a true and fair presentation. True and fair presentation plus compliance with IND AS. ഓക്കെ, പലപ്പോഴും എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് കുട്ടികൾ ചോദിക്കാവുന്നൊരു ചോദ്യമാണ്, നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ടിൽ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന വേർഡാണ് ട്രൂ ആൻഡ് ഫെയർ വ്യൂ. എവിടെയാണ് ഈ ട്രൂ ആൻഡ് ഫെയർ വ്യൂയുടെ റിക്വയർമെൻറ്റ് വരുന്നത്? ഓഡിറ്റിങ്ങിലാണോ? അല്ല. ട്രൂ ആൻഡ് ഫെയർ റിക്വയർമെൻറ്റ് കംസ് ഇൻ IND AS 1 ഓർ ഇഫ് യു ഹാവ് ലേൺഡ് AS 1 അവിടെ ഉണ്ടത്. ഓക്കെ, എനി ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് യു പ്രിപ്പയർ ഹാസ് ടു ഹാവ് എ ട്രൂ ആൻഡ് ഫെയർ പ്രസൻറ്റേഷൻ. That is why we say it should be true and fair. It should give true and fair view of the financial performance and financial position. Okay, so that is the first feature. Second one, it should be a going concern. Financial statements have to be prepared under going concern assumption. Going concern assumptions illengil endu cheyanam? Okay, let's say an entity is under liquidation. Okay, you will have to restate all the assets and liabilities at its realizable value. Okay, now next one, accrual basis of accounting should be followed. All the financial statements, the items in the financial statements have to be accounted using accrual basis. Accrual basis of accounting. That is the third feature. And the fourth feature is consistent presentation. Consistent presentation. Okay, and they also talk about the last feature, that is materiality and aggregation. എന്ത് ഈ മെറ്റീരിയാലിറ്റി ആൻഡ് അഗ്രിഗേഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് മെറ്റീരിയാലിറ്റി ഉപയോഗിച്ച് വേണം നമ്മൾ ഓരോ ഐറ്റംസ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ. Okay, if you take a company, that company could have, let's say, 1 lakh items in its trial balance. ഈ 1 lakh ഐറ്റംസും ട്രയൽ ബാലൻസിൽ നിന്ന് അതുപോലെ എടുത്ത് ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്സിൽ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ല. സോ ദേ സേ ദാറ്റ് you need to have the principle of materiality, and the entity shall present separately each material class of items, each material class of similar items, material class of similar items, അത് ഒരുമിച്ച് കൊണ്ടുവരണം. Okay, similarly, items of a dissimilar nature or function, okay, should be shown separately. Okay, dissimilar nature or function, they have to be shown separately. അതേ സ്ഥാനത്ത് material items, material class of similar items should be aggregated together. That is materiality and aggregation principles. Now there are few more simple topics like offsetting principles. ചില ഐറ്റംസ് നമുക്ക് തമ്മിൽ ഓഫ്സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് എന്താണ് പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ? ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് അസറ്റ്, അഡ്വാൻസ് ടാക്സ് അടച്ചു, ഇറ്റ്സ് എൻ ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് അസറ്റ്. TDS, ഇറ്റ്സ് എൻ ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് അസറ്റ്, കുഡ് ബി സെറ്റ് ഓഫ് അഗെയിൻസ്റ്റ് ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് ലയബിലിറ്റി. അതിന് പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ എന്താണ്? ഓക്കെ, ഇഫ് ബോത്ത് റിലേറ്റ്സ് ടു 1 year ആൻഡ് യു ഹാവ് എ ലീഗൽ റൈറ്റ് ടു ഓഫ്സെറ്റ്, you can do that, you can do the offsetting. Okay, and they also talk about the comparative information. And in comparative information, they say that you have to give at least 1 year comparative information. Okay, so if you are presenting the current year figures, you are mandatorily required to present the previous figures also. So these are the general features of the financial statements. Friends, I hope that is clear to you.